Let's talk about the law of correspondence or the principle of correspondence. And this is commonly known by the very famous saying, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with, as above, so below, so below, as below, so above, as within, so without. This is talking about the principle of correspondence. There is constant correspondence that exists between various planes of life, whether recognized or not. You see, the sun and the solar system, we may acknowledge the same patterns on a much smaller scale. You can see it when you see the atom with its nucleus at its core and the protons, neutrons, and electrons. In the same sense, when we see the sun in reference to the solar system, that's macro in the solar system. In terms of, or in looking at the micro, which would be considered to be the atom in the body. Now, there's different ways that we can deal with the law of correspondence, but basically, it unlocks the enigma of the multi-dimensional reality in which we exist mentally, materially, and spiritually. So you have a spiritual body, an emotional body, a mental body. You have different forms other than just your physical body, and they all correspond with each other. They all communicate with each other. They're all connected to each other. There is working unison or consistency or correspondence between these many planes or the levels of the universe. Now, as above, so below addresses that the reflecting or the mirroring relationship between the macrocosmic and the microcosmic reality, based on the concept that all within the universe emanates from the same source. This source being the all, as we stated in the very first principle of first law. It instills this formula in each and every aspect of creation. So therefore, every piece of creation comes from the very same source. And if that being the case, all levels or all planes of existence have to correspond to each other because they're all the interworkings of each other. Now we see the Star of David, as it's most commonly referred to. Most people know this as the Star of David, or Solomon's seal, or Suleiman's seal, or the hexagram of Judaism. Now, it's been a Jewish symbol for about a century, maybe a little longer. Um, yes, it's been a Jewish symbol for about a century. It reached Judaism through Eastern Tantric influences on medieval Jewish Kabbalists who speak on the union of God and his female counterpart. If you're familiar with one, the Shekinah or Shekinah being the female counterpart of God when you study the Kabbalah. Now, in contemporary Jewish discourse, the term Shekinah or Shekinah most commonly refers to the divine feminine or the feminine aspect of God. So, God as a mother, nurturer, protector, and compassionate one. Now, Kabbalistic cosmology is rooted in the notion that divine energy has masculine and feminine polarities. We'll get into that a little bit more detail. And that can be unified through human action. So this idea is reflected in the 10 Sephiroth. If we were to look at the tree, okay? So these are your Sephiroth, okay? So in terms of the 10, the emanations or attributes of divinity are organized in the well-known image of the tree of life. So each of the Sephiroth has a masculine or feminine quality and a counterpart on the opposing side of the tree. All right. So let me show you the tree. Let's see here. So we see a masculine and a feminine. This is your masculine. See, it has a sun. It has your feminine side. So the emanations are attributes. As I stated before, each Sephiroth has masculine, feminine qualities, right? And the counterpart on the opposing side of the tree. So Shekinah is associated with Malkut, all right? Malkut is down here, kingship, the lowest of the Sephiroth. It represents the physical world. So it's like the intermediary between the upper emanations, right, and the material world. So the recipient of the divine energy flowing from above just prior to its manifestation in the physical reality. So in some accounts, this makes Shekinah the closest Sephiroth to the material world and the part of the divinity most readily experienced in nature. So when the black woman is God, because of this Sephiroth, this is the pillar, the science that correlates to, because it is the closest to that which is up here, and what's up here is simply a reflection of what's down here anyway. So it's the same, if we being quite honest about it.